Clear Channel, but it'll be renamed Captain Joel's Fishing Holes. So.
Yeah, and what do you talk about when you're on there?
We have people call in that give us information on tournament information. We talk about law changes, let everybody know about regulation changes out there on the water, which is real important. We talk about fishing spots, what to use and when to use them, and just talk about what's biting and what's not. So it was a real popular show. In
addition to fishing in the Tampa Bay area, you've fished around the world. Where are some of the places you've fished?
I've fished Africa, Argentina, Australia, good bit in Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, good bit in Canada, Mexico.
Now, what do you catch in Africa?
In Africa, believe it or not, there's a fish called a snook, and we got into the phone book there in South Africa. We went on a safari in Kimberley, South Africa, where the diamond mines are. And then we went to Cape Town, which is kind of a first world city in a third world continent. And we got into the phone book and we saw snook fishing. So we decided to go snook fishing, and come to find out snook are these big eels there. But they fought pretty good, but not the snook that we're accustomed to.
And by the way, all the world record tarpon now are pretty much caught over in Africa. But the political climate over there where the tarpon are is pretty dangerous. I wouldn't recommend it unless you check real close. Let's go to the phone calls and we'll run through these real quick. James in Tampa, thanks for calling tonight. Hey, James.
Hey, Bill.
How's it going?
Good. I was out in Williams Park, and we're catching minnows in the net. They're like glass minnows. I want to know what kind of you can catch on those.
You're at Williams Park?
Yeah.
Okay. What's he catching? He's probably catching glass minnows. That'd be good bait for stuff.
You need to, James, you need to use a hair hook, and
that's a small hook,
just
James.
a real small hook, so even smaller than a 1/0. Just a small hook, and put a split shot about a foot up from that hook, and cast that glass minnow near rocks, or near a wall, or near a boat ramp, or near a dock or a bridge, and just let it come down next to some structure, and that is snapper candy.
It's a good natural bait. Okay, Angela in St. Pete, you're on with Bill and Joel. Thanks for calling.
What is the correct trolling speed when trolling for grouper in the shipping channels, and what are the best lures to use?
That is a terrific question, Angela. You got it just right, too.
Wow.
The best speed, Angela, is probably, I'll say, 4 to 5 miles an hour. That'll be that's a good speed generally for trolling for Spanish mackerel or kingfish or whatever the case might be, and also grouper in the ship channel. Now, if you're going against the tide and the tide's really moving fast, you'll have to pick it up just a little bit more to keep your speed where it should be. The best lures would be maybe a big 6-ounce jig with a curly tail, a soft plastic tail on it, a big Yozuri plug, something, you know, the big lipped plugs like that. Also, I know that Tsunami is making a giant rubber fish type thing with a big old hook. It's a great looking lure. I saw them on the Average Angler. They were catching grouper the other night on that. So those would be that's the right speed and the best lures, and now's a good time to try it too, Angela, so thanks for the call. Ryan in Palm Harbor, thanks for calling.
Hey, Captain Bill.
Hello, Ryan.
I wanted to know if you know any good spots in Ozona for snook, redfish, or trout.
You bet. We were just there. You get over there and fish much around those spoils?
Not much.
Ryan, the spoil islands right out of Ozona there along the Intercoastal Waterway, if you can go anchor up around those spoil islands and use a live shrimp underneath a cork, the trout fishing there is excellent right now. This is the peak of the wintertime trout season over there. Also drifting the grass, the deep grass off of Crystal Beach over there using a soft plastic, something like a DOA or a Tsunami trout mauler. There's plenty of trout over there, and you shouldn't have any trouble catching them, provided the winds are down and the water's clear. All right, we got one more segment. Let's take a look at the big screen and see how we do.
stick first.
Got it.
Get a little weight to him, that one.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Nice going.
That's a big one. All right, we're gonna let him go on the cold side. How about
Let's do that.
I'm gonna set him out over here. Release this guy and then get back in the water for another fight for another day.
We got, watch so he didn't hit that line. There you go.
He took off.
Fish on everywhere.
Just cross.
Oh, some jacks with a catfish. Look at that. They're still with that catfish. Those jacks were right around that catfish. No, I'm not on him.
Got you over here.
If I ever want to catch catfish, I know what to do.
Thank you. That's blue and silver user.
Bye-bye, fish.
When we started out this morning, we were looking for the big schools of jacks out in the channel. A lot of times they'll run down the sandbar edge or really right up on the sandbar, chasing schools of bait, and you can see them just pushing big walls of water. We checked out a few rock piles and a few seawalls around the corner. They just weren't there. So we came up inside, fishing right next to the wall, up in the hot water outflow, and that's where the jacks are. It makes for a fun and exciting time trying to get around all this stuff, but the fish are there, and Joel's hooked up right now. I really don't want to just try. I'm just trying different stuff to see if it works. We got the right color on this. Nice going, man. Yeah, welcome back to Hooked on Fishing. Now, make sure when you're fishing those power plants that you do pay attention to the security signs, because you don't want to get inside there. If you do, they will let you know. And also remember that we've got some new times for Hooked on Fishing. We've been running that graphic during the show, and so we're on during the day. We're on one more time this year. We're on 4 times a week, twice at night and twice during the day. So check it out. And also next week, speaking of power plants and our series on power plants, we will be at the Anclote power plant next week. So hopefully we'll have some more action for you there. Joel, what can, we've got a little bit of time left, what can our anglers and our viewers expect around your neck of the woods for the next month or so?
Well, I tell you, the snook are going to come in February 1st. That's when the snook season starts for 2006. And the big snook are still a little bit lethargic around the docks, but they're starting to get hungry, and so we're going to catch some big snook around the docks back in the warm water canals there around the power plant. So,
what about back up in the little manatee? Do the snook, how far up do they go in the wintertime?
Well, a buddy of mine by the name of Wayne Carter, who's just a great angler around there, went down to even under 75 and under 41, under 75, way back in where you catch a snook, then a bass, snook, then a bass, and he was using freshwater shiners to catch these snook way back there. So they go as far back as a boat can go, and probably further.
So I wonder if he needed a freshwater fishing license. They say if you're fishing for freshwater fish, you need a freshwater license. Fishing for saltwater fish, you need a saltwater license. My recommendation is have both. All right, I'm hooked on fishing. Hope you are too. That's it for this week's show. See you next week, everybody.